Welcome, Collective. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot getting ready to do a collective reading for you. And I am already in connection with a vision that I've been holding for a while now. It's a vision of you, whoever I'm speaking to, of being a very large redwood tree in the middle of a fairly large forest. You're in the back of the forest. You're deeply embedded. You're one of the oldest. You're one of the tallest, but you feel largely forgotten. And in the fog that is drifting around the tops and along the ground, you are connected to the stories of other trees that have had communication with you, so that other beings, apart from trees that have been in communication with you, that tell stories, circulate stories of your tremendous kindness, your wisdom, your advice, your support, your willingness to listen during some amazing crisis in their experience, in their lives. And as these whisperings continue to connect to you, to reach you in your fairly dark and abandoned part of the forest, you recognize a clearing emerging. And in that clearing is something that looks like what we might call an altar, but it's almost like the cracking a large gemstone open, that kind of a fissure that emerges, that is reveals a deep, beautiful crystal that illuminates and emits this beautiful light in the shape of largely an egg energy, and this is coming at you. And so this was a vision that has been carrying me through this particular time of the year. We're Samhain, Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, any number of traditional harvest holidays. Some of them they're all cultural, some of them are religious. But this is where we are being called to from our shadows, the shadows of our own subconscious, the collective unconscious. We are gathering information, looking into areas that are usually hidden from us. And so what I did was pull this glyph, oracle or talismanic oracle card, change. And I'm going to read the few words that it describes in the guidebook, but overall, I do feel that you are being pulled in specifically to look at those secret experiences, emotions generated by often painful or uncomfortable feelings as things that you have been changing. You've been working on changing, some would say healing these things for years. So let me gather a few words from the Oracle Guidebook. New experiences will bring excitement to your life. You will be taking a risk or an unknown step forward, but listen to your intuition and follow the process of change. The chameleon feels no need to rush. The best opportunity lies waiting for you. Don't fear making mistakes because they present opportunities to grow and learn something new. Acknowledge that it's a time of progress and don't waste your energy fighting this move. The seed of life behind the chameleon represents the unity of all aspects of life. This change will bring cumulative fulfillment. Be ready to embrace the unknown and enjoy the adventure ahead of you. This card is useful when you're ready to step out of your comfort zone, when you are in a new environment and you need to adapt smoothly. So there's a lot here that is describing what I believe is this current opportunity for you to review an aspect of your coming of age, your learned behaviors, your conditioned behaviors that you have challenged. You have stripped away the band-aids, the masks, the toxic positivity that has covered up what has been, for many of you, guilty or shameful behaviors, deeds done in the past that you are so traumatized by that you are uncomfortable looking at them. And yet, throughout the last few years, you have been looking at pieces of these behaviors, understanding why you have been making the same choices over and over again and getting similar results, or simply choosing to be happy, choosing to no longer be weighted down by the sense of guilt and shame that apparently has been plaguing many of you, a sense of sadness that things ended or things failed or disappointed you. I do believe that for much of your past, this chameleon approach was what protected you in undoubtedly dangerous or unsafe situations where you were perhaps in a position of over responsibility for others, responsibilities that you were not aware of or up to speed on, taking care of those who were meant to take care of you. You have learned to be the strong one, but not appear to be strong, as a way of not threatening those who were expecting much from you. So you had to perform and then perhaps expect criticism for what you did, even though you were the only one acting on behalf of a solution or a remedy. I hope this is making sense to you. That's a story that's coming clearly. Nevertheless, you are no longer taking what have been traumatic experiences so personally anymore. That's one of the reasons you're being called into the shadows to look at things that you feel you've exhausted, you believe you've let go of. And the reason you're being asked to come back in and review these is because you will be surprised by the information, the impressions that you receive about behaviors that were once shameful to you. I'm going to pull a few cards to see where this is going to take us. And right away, 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, and the Page of Swords. I'm going to take these. I did shuffle these cards in advance. And I'm going to pull a couple of oracles along the way. So in the present, I'm taking the 9 of Wands as a declaration on your part of your independence, of your willingness to pursue your own interests, your own talents, your own gifts and resources. This is about figuring out, strategizing the next optimum investment in your world, in what you do and what you apparently love doing. The fact that you have developed this position, the status of independence, being on your own 2 feet, doing for yourself, taking a lot of pride in what you've been able to develop for you, no apologies to others, but really the pursuit of the pleasure in what you've created. This also gives you the autonomy to make decisions that are best for you. And this is a really drastic growth. It's a formidable growth from a childhood or a family of origin where you had to consider the needs of others always before yourself. That was expected of you. You did not feel worthy or encouraged to develop things that you wanted. And this has been a very long healing process, desire to change your story, that you are coming through standing up for yourself, standing on your own 2 feet proudly on what you've created, vis-a-vis others who had a lot of ideas about what you should be doing and how what you're doing is not right, is wrong, is not going to be successful, is not positive, is the wrong path. In the past, the Knight of Wands is describing, and I'm holding the Moon card from the next deck I'm going to use to clarify, and this is really affirming how at this particular time, after such a dramatic global healing phenomenon, the subconscious is calling you into an area that you have felt fairly comfortable in. You've become fairly comfortable looking at old behaviors, uncomfortable behaviors, looking beneath the secret for the motivations, why things happen, why you're choosing what you're choosing in the present moment, and how much you've grown from a place of feeling powerless, afraid of your own shadow. In the past, the Knight of Wands is really you connecting with your own passion. This passion is likely a talent that you have. It's a talent that many of you have practiced throughout your life, but perhaps as a side hustle, as a hobby, as something that you did on the weekends or on vacations, or for example, if you trained as a dancer, your activity in the dance world has been your form of expression that has replaced your individual creative expression. And this connection has consciously been recognized by you as an area where your heart truly belongs. Despite the sacrifices you've had to make, the way you've had to surrender your dreams in order to survive or take care of others, whatever the reason, you recognize not too long in the distant past that this was your real calling, this was your real voice, this is your real story. Whatever mission or work or purpose you have on this planet, it involves this talent, this approach, this aesthetic view, this moral value-laden view, one that where you recognize your value. And this has been how you have come to acknowledge your value in order to make this change towards greater independence. Because you understand that without this, denying yourself your heart has been allowed, permitted by those that loved you, those that you were sacrificing for. They were not encouraging you to develop this talent, or they were poo-pooing, sabotaging your efforts in this regard. And then in the future, we have the Page of Swords, and this is you being truly open about the way that your heart, your talent, your mission, your calling is going to show up in life. You know you are already successful, having come this far and learned what you've learned about yourself. But you're truly open. You're truly determined to observe the experience of life that you're having now, because you're aware that you have grown out of the version you were. That the changes have been so profound that you actually don't recognize all the emotions and feelings that you are experiencing, nor do you see Events from the past that once seemed to mark your trauma, you now see them in a less personal way. You don't see them as against you. You see them as for you, as helping you to define who you are and what your gift, your contribution is. I'm going to clarify the Knight of Wands in the past. And I have the Page of Wands and the Three of Cups. Yeah, this really takes whatever your talent is, has taken you into a very joyful aspect of your life. This is taking you with whatever associations, friendships, support that you had during those times when you identified or exercised your gift. When you discovered that you really had a talent for art, you remember that you exercised that in youth. Other people recognized your talent, and you found other people who were similar to you. And those are the people who, even if they didn't share your precise talent or gift, they recognized your particular and unique intelligence, your value, your open heart, your appreciation of the support that you were given, the ability to identify soul bonds despite outer differences. This is part of the positive experience of the development of your talent or gift, that it was done in a community of support and resources that identified you as, saw you as one of their own and lifted you up. In the present, the Nine of Pentacles is clarified by the Emperor and the Page of Swords again. I really do believe that the Page of Swords is one of my favorite cards because it comes out so often. And I think it's interesting that it appears with the Emperor, who is very much the energy of the Nine of Pentacles as I'm experiencing it in this reading. The idea that you've learned how to control what you can or want to control within yourself. And thus your ability to cultivate your garden, to build on your interests, talents, and knowledge so that you can extend the joy of your values, your beliefs, and your efforts is very much in line with this beautiful sense of sovereignty, taking full responsibility for your life. And look what you can manifest, the abundance that you have worked for. The Page of Swords here is saying that you now can do this without a hard and fast goal. You don't have to know the details of your vision or all of your ideas. What is important is your openness to new ideas, to new connections, to observe what you're experiencing now in whatever way you're experiencing it, and understanding that you are taking notes, that you're now teaching yourself how to exist at a different level as part of a new version of who you are. One who doesn't need to blame others for the experiences in your life, one who takes full responsibility and also recognizes the history of experience, the way in which you have sacrificed and strategized abundance on behalf of others. You have been a leader of communities and projects. You've experienced results of success. And this is combining with this sense of newness, change that you have created. In the future, the Page of Swords is clarified here by, let's see, the Hierophant and, I always go for the hard ones, the Five of Cups. So we have two fives here in the future. And one of the things that's coming right to the fore for me is the Hierophant. This idea that you have committed to this process of change. You are in sync with that. And I'm not sure about your individual characteristics that you might find in your birth chart, but for many of you that I'm reading for, I do believe that your life experiences incline you to believe that change is what excites you, what thrills you. The idea of contributing to a change, of being a part of a change, of changing within to be prepared for improvements that you can make in the world, in your community, is what lights you up, is how you're created, how you're built. Many of you have been a teacher in some form or another. An educator perhaps is another way of understanding it. But part of what you have taught yourself about is this history, this way of growing your relationship to self, understanding the axiom as above, so below. As without, so within. As you've learned this hermetic maxim and really come to understand the idea that the failures and the disappointments were as much your creation as they were those who perhaps in the past you identified as being at fault, to blame, their mistake, not yours. And you now understand why, for some of you, you really weren't available for a happy, grounded relationship. You didn't trust others. Perhaps your experiences growing up led you to believe that others only wanted you to use you, to get something for themselves. And as a result of that, it was hard to open up, to be intimate, truly intimate with your desired partners, as an example. The same is true perhaps about an industry or work that you pursued, a distrust that you could really be successful or that others were going to let you be successful. And you've abandoned that way of thinking. You've changed that because you don't want to choose to live in anger, in frustration, with a sense of being robbed or a victim. And so you have developed this relationship within that has helped you understand how your life has, again, been built for you, not against you. I'm going to pull a crystal oracle to finish this collective reading up. I hope this has been helpful to you. And I have pulled the Amazonite, and the key words are life purpose. I'm fully aligned to and living my life purpose. I'm really feeling strongly that a lot of you are aligned in a conscious, beyond intellectual way, in a way that resonates with a higher vibration and this new frequency that your life, your thoughts, your actions are resonating to is in and of itself a vast experience and edifying experience. You have lifted yourself into realms that you have not previously experienced. Again, the idea that this is not personal. The challenges you face, this is all to the end of helping you to improve upon whatever effort it is that you're making, to be more authentic with yourself, and to know that you're worthy of pursuing the things that you desire. Thank you so much for this reading. If you enjoyed this content, check out more content here. Thank you for your likes and subscribes. And until next time, namaste.